I recently got into board games, which sounds like something a retired dentist would say, but hear me out. Because when someone says board games, most people don't imagine some life changing experience. You probably think of Monopoly or Sorry. You think of that one kid who hates losing, so they smash the board game and all the pieces go flying and are scattered all over the place. Honestly, I was kind of on the same boat. I thought board games were kind of outdated. Like, why would I sit around a table moving cardboard pieces when I have a For You page that can give me cheap dopamine? But then I went to my friend's house for a board game night, and somehow that changed everything. They have this huge board game collection, not normal person huge. I'm talking about shelves, boxes, games stacked on top of games, and they were all neatly stacked. It was very charming. And I'm looking around thinking, there's no way people voluntarily sit down for hours playing these games. But when we sat down and started playing Guardians of Atlantis 2, I realized board games are way more than Monopoly. And somehow, I left that night wanting my own board game collection, which I genuinely did not expect. Now, to be fair, board games weren't completely new to me. I played the classics, Guess Who, Sorry, Pictionary, Snakes and Ladders. You know, the games where half the fun is in the rage bait. In Canada, during winter, it would snow a lot, and because of that, we had a lot of indoor recesses, where we were mostly playing these classic board games. I even enjoyed card games like Uno and also the classic deck games like Go Fish. So in my head, board games were simple. Roll, move, rage bait, repeat. But modern board games are not that. Not even close. And this is where things got different, because modern board games feel less like opening a game and more like starting a voyage or a quest. First of all, the rule books. Why does this thing have chapters? I opened one and immediately felt like I was enrolling in a university course. Every character has their own abilities, every ability has exceptions, every exception has exceptions. You spend 45 minutes learning the game, and then every 10 minutes somebody opens a rule book again. Wait, can I move here? Actually, according to page 18, subsection C, brother, we are trying to have fun. And somehow, despite all of this, it actually does become fun. Because unlike older games, where luck decides everything, modern board games make your decisions matter. You win because of your choices. You lose because of your choices. And somehow, that makes losing less annoying. Also, some games come with figurines that people paint. People become artists for this, because the way some of these figurines are painted is very cool. Also, these games are long, like 4 hours long. Okay, maybe not 4 hours, but at least an hour and a half. The longest is usually 4 hours. But in the end, it really is worth it. It's like if you were in a show. You're not going to be experiencing one episode. You experience an entire season. And that made me realize something. I actually enjoy board games differently than video games. Because originally my logic was video games exist, board games should be obsolete by now, right? I mean, video games are instant fun. You click start and you're in. But board games are the opposite. There's a setup, rules, explaining, confusion, pretending you will understand even though everything came out of the other ear. But the payoff is different. Video games are convenient, board games are memorable. Everyone is tuned in because it's face to face. Nobody's got a second webpage open. Nobody's watching TikToks between turns. Nobody disappears into another Discord call. You're just there. And weirdly enough, board games make hanging out easier because trying to force conversation is awkward. But if there's a game, aka a common interest, conversations just happen. People start negotiating, bluffing, panicking. People reveal weird sides of themselves. Some people become accountants and salesmen. Others become politicians or villains. Which brings me to chess. I had a big chess phase. I played on chess.com, and every time I played, I became competitive, like unhealthy levels of competition. I would lose, then immediately play another game. Then I'll lose again and play again. At some point, I'm not playing to improve, I'm playing out of spite. And despite my obsession, I still would not consider myself a good chess player. And honestly, Duolingo has chess lessons now, which feels insane. Imagine opening Duolingo to learn Spanish, and suddenly a green owl is teaching you en passant. But even with my terrible chess playing, I am still able to socialize and connect with people. You'd be surprised how much people play chess. Even in my own family, they play a lot of chess. Which also reminds me, I started trying to organize board game nights with my family, and I learned something. You can't randomly ask, hey, want to play board games right now? People who treat that invitation like you asked them to help move furniture. You have to plan it. Tell everyone to leave one day open. Build anticipation. Let them mentally prepare. Trust me, when they are prepared, they will come and have fun. People become dramatically emotional and invested in the game, and somehow, those become really memorable nights. It's okay to spend hours setting up or learning the rules. What feels like a waste of time is actually a deep investment in social connection. If you can justify hours of gaming in front of a screen, you can definitely carve out space for a board game. You might find you enjoy the shift in pace. At least I do. Along with the fun, there's a real trade-off. Video games are fantastic for sharpening your reflexes, but board games offer a different kind of workout. They excel at building long-term strategic planning, fast reflexes, and face-to-face social intelligence that video games and the digital world in general lacks. Board games aren't just cardboard and dice anymore. Instead, they're an excuse to hang out with people more often, challenging your mind to make long-term strategies, negotiate, and bluff with your friends. Video games aren't replacing board games. They're giving you something video games never really did, a reason to sit down. Now, here are my recommendations. If you're a beginner, try Catan or Ticket to Ride. They're classics and, although basic, still great starting points. If you want something more advanced, you could go for Dungeons and Dragons or my pick, Guardians of Atlantis 2. If you have recommendations, please comment below. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Also, thank you guys for all the support. Sorry if my drawings looked a little choppy or messy at times. I'm still improving. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks Monopoly is a peak of board games. And with your permission, I will be signing off now. Goodbye.